This woman writes, slowly walking instead of falling into love. So I'm assuming she's talking about really the pace at which he goes or just not going too fast in the relationship and the importance of that. Let's check it out. I'm in my early 30s, and he is 1 year older than me. We started off speaking long distance for 3 months. Long time. I don't know if it was like a COVID situation. I don't know if you two of you knew each other. I don't know how you met. But 3 months is a long time to be talking to someone before even going on a date. And since last month, parentheses, when I moved cities back to my hometown where he is from. Okay, so they probably knew each other from the hometown. We see each other once a week. That's pretty healthy as far as like once a week is a good really amount at the start to really date somebody. Later on in the progression, you'll often see it's like she'll start to reach out to you more and want to be with you more, especially if you're doing everything right. And then it kind of increases to kind of like the 2 or sometimes even more times per week. But it's like you do want to manage that space and not go too fast. Last night I was hoping to take things all the way, but when he arrived and we put on a movie, we landed up laughing and cuddling instead. It's like, dude, it's like he's not capitalizing on these moves. So it's like, if he's willing to talk to a woman for 3 months before he even gets on a date, he probably doesn't have many more options. And so he's probably in this kind of nice guy kind of role. That's kind of what it seems like, especially if he's not picking up on those signals when she wants to go all the way, as she says, and he doesn't basically make a move. He doesn't initiate. He doesn't recognize what she's signaling to him. So he just seems like he's a little bit inexperienced. So let's continue on. This morning when I left, and she even slept over, I realized this feels like the first time I've moved slowly into love. I'm used to seeing someone 4 or 5 nights a week in the first month, and foreplay is always a big thing. That's a lot. As far as 4 or 5 times a week. This morning, I felt guilty for simply being cuddling and not performing. I'm not sure how long this will last, but he's teaching me, one, there's safety and security and less anxiety in moving slow. Now, that is true, but if you have too much of that, basically security, another word for that is certainty, then you're basically going to sacrifice the uncertainty and the desire and the anticipation. And by him not making moves, eventually what it's going to cause is she's going to feel like, okay, yeah, I thought he was just taking this slow at first, and I thought he really knew what he was doing, because it was like, yeah, I'm okay with going slow, but now it just seems like he's not making a move because he's afraid or he's scared or he doesn't know how to act and he's not really a strong leader. And then when that shifts, she's going to be like, well, this guy's really kind of just like, he's not really masculine. He's not really taking the lead. And I don't know what to really think about this guy. So I'm kind of going to distance myself. And then when she distances herself, it's like he tries to pursue. And then it's just like it's ended at that point. Okay, 2, I have and am more to offer than just my body or sexuality. Yeah, but I mean, it's like that is a big part. It's like, and you will want to feel sexy, especially in like long-term relationships. That is one of the biggest things. It's like, because sometimes guys associate like shame or whatever with sex, or thinking if they bring up sex or talk about their their boobs or their butt or whatever it is that they find like genuinely appealing, then they fear that they're not going to like them, or it's going to be like weird. And when they basically eliminate that portion of making her feel sexy, then, well, it's really a necessary thing she has to feel that's lacking, and it eliminates that spark, and it eliminates her confidence in a lot of cases. 3, I don't need to constantly be on or perform to be lovable. Just wondering if anyone else has experienced slower forming love and what you learned about yourself, your partner, or love in general. Well, I think what you're finding is that it's kind of a relief to go at a slower pace because so many guys that don't know what they're doing, they go way, way too fast. And you have to realize that women fall in love much slower. It's usually much a slower process than what guys do, where it's like they can be basically already in love by just the visual aspect. And so it's probably a nice release for her in this situation. But what she'll find is as this continues on and he basically doesn't have the skills to really make a move or set up a move to really kind of initiate further, she's going to notice this eventually, and then it's really going to shift her perception on, okay, this guy just doesn't know what he's doing, and that's why he's basically taking it slow. It's like he really wants to make a move, but he's too afraid, or he's too afraid that he's going to get rejected. And when he gets into this and when she starts to notice these things, then she's going to be like, well, this guy's really just not very confident. And then when she notices that, she distances herself again, what I was talking about earlier. And then an untrained guy, he's going to pursue. And when he gets in this pattern, it's like when she's backing off and he's chasing, it's a bad dynamic that will lead to really failure in a relationship. So I'm not against going slow, but if you are using this getting slow thing and basically trying to justify in your mind that this is like the right way and it's basically just because you're too afraid to make a move, that's when problems occur. So again, it's important to go slow, but it's also important to know when to make the move, know how to read her attraction, because of like she even said, I was ready to go all the way, and he basically failed at that. He failed at recognizing that. And if he does it over and over again, it's really going to cause a lot of problems.